In the moment that you born until you die, all that trajectory is trying to preserve life. Is the preservation aspect of our Trinity. And there are different frequencies or perceptions where that preservation can relate to others or create a certain dynamics with others. And in here I want to invite you to reflect to three different kinds of preservations. One is the preservation that comes from the false idea that you need others to survive and to have a sense of identity. That has been saying, all the psychology is the co-dependency relationships, how you extend your power to other object or subject to give you validity of what you are. For example, if I have no validity on my creativity, then I will create somebody that create for me. So I put everything in the other person to cope or to expand me through them. Of course, that doesn't last because it's a lot of demands and it's a lot of expectations and it's a lot of dependency and instability. If the other do this creative things for me, then I am okay, I am gonna love, I'm gonna please that person, and all series of ideas of false preservation comes into your mind and into your personality, and you start adopting and adapting things. The other state is the interdependency, which is what your senses can see. For example, if we look in nature, if we go for a walk or we study nature more deeply, we see that all plants and animals and weather and humans are all interdependent in a beautiful mystery for maintaining certain preservation. One of the more amazing examples I can give you is the fungi kingdom. Is in the ground, you don't see it, but whereas fungi is health in the forest. Everything is interconnected. All the information of the tree, all the minerals, all the communication, all the weather, everything is felt and transmitted to certain area where the fungi serve as kind of the network of the land, of the earth. So in that interconnectability, you are keeping your own identity. The fungi doesn't want to be a tree, the tree doesn't want to be a fungi, the animal doesn't want to be a mushroom, and so on. Everybody keeps his own identity, his own sense of self, and acknowledge what are the strengths that you have, and in that acknowledgement you start expanding. So if I am a kidney, then I will have the filtration of the blood, and that's my function, and I won't pretend to be the heart, or I won't pretend to be the liver. So it comes with a little bit of a specialization and maturity, where you are clearly see your own strength, your own passion, your own expression, and you don't have any apology or dependency on circumstances, on others to deliver that expression. So when you do that, even if the senses don't see the immediate results, you are in a beautiful state of cooperation, and the preservation is much more agile. It's not something that, okay, it's preserving, nothing is dying and nothing is born. It's the opposite. You start understanding that, oh, if I shift my perception, if I let that go, if I die in that perception, and I have born and adopt other information that are near me or comes with me, in that cooperation, the preservation becomes much more agile, and the birth and rebirth is seen as part of the preservation of creation. So the preservation is not only a static thing, but it's a interdependency of all creation with each other. So that is a state where all souls kind of have the contracts and help each other and be themselves in what they are. It may not be pleasant, it may not be what you want, but is what is you need in order to evolve. And the key here is not to step back from your gifts, not to step back from that recognition that any inspiration you have is correct and is necessary. And that you cannot keep it for yourself, right? Like, let's say I recently had with my English, for a long time I was saying good night when I was departuring, or good evening, or one that is I was saying in English, nice to meet you, to eat you instead of meet you. And I kept saying that for a while until somebody in that interrelation or say, no, that's not the way it's done, it's this way. So it was not in a way to put themselves up and say, I know English better than you do. It's I know something that you need. And in that exchange, it creates a beautiful flow of evolution. So that is the interdependency thing. You immediately kind of support where you feel or see the fault or the incompleteness in other or in creation. And it could be from anything physical to anything existential. For example, sometimes I travel to places where they are lacking certain grace or certain things in the room or something, and I do really like to be surrounded by beautiful things. So instead of me complaining to the B&BO, you don't have this lamp here, or you don't have a little bit of flowers or something, I just go and buy myself and I just put it there. So it's not that I am going to tell that person, oh, see, you're missing that. Is that you also giving to yourself what is it that you prefer to be surrounded by. So in that exterior expression and exteriorization of your passion and expression, you create more interrelations. It could be also when you are walking in the forest and you see that, you know, it's an injured animal. You immediately will like to help. So you are offering yourself and offering certain skill to help, to serve. So that that is that the ego don't like that. I must say that the ego don't like that, because it brings certain vulnerability. It brings certain humbleness as well from the ones that are learning and from the ones that are teaching, and from the ones that are supporting and the ones that are being supported. And that exchange is kind of the first state of love, where it's not conditional. I am giving you this so I can be that. No, it's just a simple cooperation between 2 or 3 or 4 elements. So it's not only you and me, it's a whole entire team of different frequencies and different races. You know, it could be the plants, it could be the animals. Everything is very much interconnected to support each other. And the other one, when you have grown your extreme subtle perception, and that only just a few can reach this state, where you are in such a state of subtleness that you move the interdependency or the interconnection with intradependency. And intra means you are within everything. So as your mind perceives more fractally, where everything contains everything. I am in the animal, that part of me, that zoom, everything exists within each other. So everything contains the universe itself. When you start perceiving the intradependency, a certain state of inner peace, because you are everywhere, because you are in everything, and anything that you are experiencing within, you know that is being affected and received by creation itself. So in that expansive state of perception, the intra-perception or intra-dependency, dependency is not the quite right word, but intercooperation, you have great power, because you are in everything. You are embedded in every substance in creation. You understand that through the 5 elements you are also in everything in creation. So with this state, more than a perception, is also a state of being, where you cannot harm anything because you know you're harming yourself. You see things as the same as you, and you treat everything as you would like to be treated, not only in behavior but in promoting their own strength, their own light, their own qualities. You are looking at reality from the within the person rather than outside the person. So, or not only a person but anything, any matter. You are more connected to the forces of just the beginning of things, where that matrix of interconnectability, it is what it is, and it's not distracting you per se. And that's when it comes the 4th state of being, where you become that quietness witness of everything in matter. You are not in matter, but you are also in matter. So it's a great paradoxes, and it's a great intra-connections in your perception. But anyway, that's for another state of perception. For now, it's just to lay out the different kinds of how you preserve and how creation preserves itself through these different kinds of perception. And to invite you a little bit to see where you are, what is the type of dependency or preservation that you are exercising, because you cannot be in one and pretend to be in another one. If you see inside of you that you're giving power away, then you are not interconnecting, you are not creating support system. And if you are creating support system, then you can include that intra-perception, but you're less interested in the interconnectability, because you know it's there, that you don't, that the intraconnection support the interconnection. Thank you very much for being with me in this reflection, in this satsang. And I just remind you that any work that you do in yourself, you affect the whole, even if you are not aware 100% of your intraconnectability. It is there and is more and more evident when you start proving through your own changes how reality changes around you. Namaste.